start the meeting. Thank you. Last week was a really special remembrance with the 75th anniversary of D-Day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
My family had 5 uncles. I had 5 uncles that served in World War II. The youngest did not come back. I've often wondered how my grandmother ever lived through that day. And although they were not involved in the D-Day operations, after that war, when I knew them as a child, and when I learned more about the war, I wondered how they ever did this as young men.
No kidding.
So I was really especially touched when by President Trump's speech that he gave at Normandy, France 4 days ago. The one line that I'll never forget is that he said the soldiers who came to Normandy that day knew that they were carrying on their shoulders not only the pack of a soldier, but the fate of a world. Okay, so an assistant to Nancy Pelosi told her they made a fantastic dream the night before. There was a humongous parade in Washington, and they were celebrating Pelosi. Millions were lined up along the parade route. They had children throwing confetti into the air. There were balloons everywhere. They were cheering as Nancy went past. Bands were playing. It was the biggest celebration that Washington had ever seen. Nancy was so touched by this. She was so impressed. So she said to her staffer, "That's really great. By the way, how did I look in your dream? Like, how did my hair look? Was I having a good hair day?" And the staffer said, "Well, I really couldn't tell because the casket was closed." All right. Well, we have a great meeting lined up for you guys tonight. I'm really excited about it. Big Tommy's does such a great job. Natalia, Portia, Dawn, and Joe, like, thank you guys so much. I know you never know what we're going to show up with. So please they do a great job. So please be generous in your tipping for them. It's I just can't even imagine the stress that they're under to just handle this kind of a crowd. Four people. Look at the numbers here. So clipboard's going around. Kathy, is the clipboard going around?
No, I'm trying to get it.
Okay, all right. So that if you're new to Lakes and you would like to be on our email list and receive notifications, I promise we don't inundate you with many emails, very few and only important ones. Make sure your name is on that list and we'll add you to the email list. We also have a great Facebook page, Lakes Area Facebook page. And along with that, look up the Michigan Conservative Coalition and Michigan Trump Republicans Facebook page. They're great pages, lots of great information on them, events that are coming up. You're going to want to be on those pages. If you have an announcement, you're from another group, you have something that you want people to know about, there's a clipboard in the back. Please make sure that you fill out your information on that. And we'll try to include that, thank you, Roseanne, toward the end of the meeting. We also have the Sign the Wall. Michigan Trump Republicans has been traveling around the state since pretty much January. And we're hosting Michigan Trump Republican women's luncheons. And we have a brick wall. It's wallpaper. And we're signing, there it is back there, Matt Maddock, thank you, Matt. We have now collected over 100 feet of signatures that we are giving to Brad Parscale, President Trump's campaign manager, tomorrow night. So if you have not signed that wall, showing your support for the president and all the effort he's getting to secure our border, please make sure that your name is on that wall with an encouraging message. Because, I think that will be a big support to our president. I want to, speaking of that Michigan, the Women for Trump luncheons, we have one right here locally. We've been all over the state, but we have one locally at the Meadowbrook Country Club. Everybody know where that is? Meadowbrook Country Club in Northville. And so it's a Women for Trump luncheon. It's going to be June 19th. And the fun thing about that is that it's going to include a little fashion show. We're going to be featuring Ivanka Trump fashion. So, you know, got to be there. Like, if you guys really want to come, you can come. We're not going to keep you out. So you can go to the Michigan Conservative Coalition Facebook page or website and look up that event, or you can go directly to Eventbrite and just, you know, put in Women for Trump luncheons, and that luncheon should come up. Right, Roseanne? Women for Trump. Yep. Okay. How about Mexico and those tariffs?
Yeah.
Did Mexico fold like a cheap folding chair or what? You know, it's like, I think some of the stuff is probably like child's play for Trump. You know, he's the art of the deal. He's the art of the dealer. So can you believe that the president is about to kick off his 2020 campaign announcement that he is running, which is a good thing, thank goodness. He's doing it on June 18th. Doesn't it seem like we were just watching him get sworn in? That is like scary how fast it goes by. But speaking of helping with the 2020 campaign, Ms. Shawn Maddock, where'd you go? Okay.
Go to your next book club. So the Trump campaign, or yoga, do it at yoga. So the Trump campaign in 2020 is going to be a lot different than the Trump campaign in 2016. Many of you here worked really hard with us to elect President Trump in Michigan. You worked and volunteered at the Walled Lake office or at the Oakland County Republican Party. How many people here helped volunteered in some way to get President Trump elected? You know, give yourself a pat on the back. That's why we turned Michigan red in 2016. The Trump campaign in 2020 is going to be run by the RNC. So the RNC, which you would assume would have President Trump's back. They've endorsed him. They've said they're not going to get behind any other candidates. So the RNC has appointed a Michigan director, and the campaign is called Trump Victory. So you're going to hear that word a lot. It's not Trump Campaign Michigan. It's Trump Victory 2020. And what they would like to do to kick off, they just appointed a Michigan director. He's a really nice young guy named Chris. I met with him last week. And what he wants me to implore all of you is for Trump's announcement on Tuesday night, which is at 8 p.m. in Orlando. He wants people from this room to agree to host watch parties. A watch party can consist of you and your 3 kids, or it can be your neighbors out on the patio. You could go to a local restaurant that you know that supports the president that will have him up on the screen, or a bar. But what we're looking for is people who will sign this clipboard that says Trump Victory with your name and email. And if you agree to host some type of a watch party, we're going to email you the hashtags that the Trump campaign wants you to use. And what we're really looking for is a groundswell in Michigan of people that all across the state are hosting watch parties, tweeting or posting on Facebook these hashtags. They're the hashtags you know already. One is MAGA. The other one is Lead Right, L-E-A-D, Right, R-I-G-H-T. That's the Michigan Republican Party's hashtag. And then the third one is Trump Victory, TV, and then it's 2020. But I will email all of that to you. So what I'm looking for, this clipboard with a white pad is going to be up at the desk. If you are interested in hosting any type of a watch party on Tuesday night, that means literally that you're going to watch the president speak, and everybody here is going to watch him, right? Next Tuesday?
Oh, yeah.
So please put your name and email, because what's going to happen is you're now going to be in the email list for Trump Victory. The RNC wants to know who the leaders are, and that's this room. You are the hardest working activist in the whole state of Michigan. We know that personally. So please give us your name and email. I will email you the hashtags, but you'll also get an email from the RNC Trump Victory naming your name as one of the people hosting a watch party for Tuesday night. And I've got plenty of Trump Pence stickers, so if you're hosting a watch party, please roll off an arm's length or a couple of arm's length for all the people that you invite to your party. And thanks so much. Oh, wait a minute, squash a mosh. One other thing, how many people here want to squash a mosh? So it's a little bit out of our district, but you know what? We make time for Justin. So we've put together this rally, and it's going to be for 1 hour, 11:30 to 1, and we made these really cool placards. So how many people here in this room know that they're going to come to Grand Rapids on Friday? I knew I'd have a few, right? Diehards. So everybody who is going to be there, take one of these, because the first 50 people gets a Squash-a-Mosh placard, and it's got a handy flag on the back because it's Flag Day. You can always use that, right? So anyway, please tell your friends, support us on social media, or if you feel like getting a carpool together and driving to Grand Rapids for 1 hour, ladies, you can come rally against Justin Amash, and then you can go have lunch. We'll see you this Friday. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Michelle. I'm looking forward to being at that rally. Okay, so perhaps you've heard about the Just Walk Away campaign, where thousands of former Democrats are leaving the Democrat Party, and they're walking away. They're walking away from the lies and the false narratives, the fake news, the race baiting, and the victim narrative too. Well, I've blessed to have gotten to know someone whom, although I've known him for 10 years, it was only recently that I found out that he became a Trump supporter. Dion was raised in a Democrat family, but one day he had an epiphany and walked away from the only political family that blacks are culturally required to be members of. This came as a great cost, and Dion risked many personal relationships. But he found he could no longer support a party driven by the hate and deception that the Democrat Party shows. He's here tonight to tell his story, and I'm so happy to have him here. So please give a warm welcome to Dion Sadler.
It's great to be here tonight. I'm telling you, I appreciate you having me out here, and I just have a real good level of comfortability, especially when you can pray in a place and not be ashamed, you know. And I felt that way, you know. It was sincere. And our president uses the name of God, and he's not ashamed. Okay, well, I want to tell you my story because I recently became a Trump supporter. I got on the Trump train, and I want to tell you how I got there. I'm not too politically correct, but I'm going to do the best I can. My history on politics isn't too sharp, but I've been studying politics for the past 4 or 5 years. So I kind of just want to walk you through how I got here, how I became a conservative. Well, I think at the tender age of 17 or 18, about 30 years ago, I'm 48, I got culturally enhanced into selling drugs, all right? And I had ended up getting arrested, and lo and behold, 2 months after the mandatory minimums were put in place, I had all I did was I did middleman the deal. I didn't carry a gun, never harmed anybody or anything like that. But I walked from one car to the next with drugs, and I got in trouble. It was an undercover cop, all right. And that's that. And I was sentenced to 10 to 40 years, and I did all 10 of them, all right. That's right. All right. Ouch. Yeah. Just for middleman in the deal, walking drugs back and forth to a car, right? And refused to tell on my suppliers. So that didn't help. I don't know if it would have helped even if I did. Probably would have got my family in trouble. But I didn't do that. So I spent the entire 10 years from 1990 to 2000 in prison. And 2 years after I was released, they reversed the mandatory minimums. Now, I know, I fought hard to get out, I tell you. I didn't feel like I belonged in there, but, for some reason they were keeping me in there. And, just to kind of tell you that I became a supporter, and I just kind of, I got I wouldn't say delivered. I just became aware of what was going on. First of all, I found out that it was Bill Clinton's bill that put me in there. Okay, stayed there for so long. You know, he's supposed to be helping black folks, so you know that was really nasty. After that, like Miriam said, my family are Democrats. My mom's 82. She's traditionally a Democrat, but my sister and brother-in-law are staunch Democrats. They supported Obama, kind of like what you're doing right here today. And you know, when I told him, when I found out, I mean, I kind of recently found out that it was his bill that put me away for so long. You know, he didn't really have an answer for me. You know, and this is the same bill, I believe, that Joe Biden was behind, or similar to it. You know. So, you know, these are the things that became aware to me that this isn't a party or a people that has my best interest in hand. And it was a tough lesson to learn. And as you know, some of these Democrats, they're pretty fired up, but all on the wrong direction. And, you know, I haven't come out as verbally or vocally as a supporter, you know. But I do plan on voting for Trump. He'd be the second president that I voted for. I was, my family, they pretty much made sure I voted for Obama when he first came around. I was working, you know, I own my own business and I work long hours. I mean, I was getting a call every 30 minutes. Did you go to the polls? Did you go to the polls? I mean, it irritated me because I never really was into politics. Like I said, I've only the past 4 or 5 years really started digging into politics and really trying to understand what's going on. But I really want to say the two things that caused me to be a conservative was I became a Christian, and I believe in the Bible, and I'm a family man. I have 2 daughters. You know, I have a wife and 2 daughters. And I got my 2 daughters in private school right now because they're in Christian school. And that was an argument, you know, that I wasn't backing down from on my wife because, you know, it's like another mortgage payment, putting kids into a private school, you know. But, you know, I'll take off the meals out and the other little things that I do for their education because I don't want to have to debrief them on, you know, the LGBT stuff and the, you know, all that stuff, gender neutral, the gender neutral stuff. You know, I don't want to have to debrief my daughters about that and, you know, come home and saying I want to be a boy and all this, you know, that's where I really started turning was the end of Obama's term. They were talking about this bathroom stuff, you know. And I said, you know, at first I was kind of laughing. I was like, are they really serious? Are they really serious? And I started seeing they are. And then the more I looked into it, I'm like, they're so left. They're so left that it's not even, you almost don't even have to be a Christian to see that this is just not right. You know, it's not right. It's not right. And they have influence. They have the media. They have money. And, you know, this was the first thing that kind of got me. You know, I went to a restaurant. I took a picture of the girls in the men's bathroom. It said, one said sit to pee, the other one said stand. You know, stand to pee. You know, so I said that's pretty much the way it should be right there. You know, but anyway, I kind of digress there. But you know, the thing that really tipped me over into being a supporter was I had this dream. This was right after President Trump had got elected, and I wasn't a supporter then. I mean, I was just kind of looking and hearing and listening and kind of shaking my head to some of this Democrat stuff. It was really off. But I had a dream about President Trump that he walked into my house. He had his black coat on. He was with other people, and the only thing he said to me was, "Watch what I do." That was his watch me. Watch what I do. That was the only thing he said. And you know, that really stirred me because it was something clear. I remember it just like yesterday. And I kind of felt like God was telling me that, you know, this is my choice. You know, this is someone that I want you to pay attention to. And I did. but I had to kind of get away from the mainstream media, and I had to, stop believing, those lies that were just coming in trying to get you to hate the man and stuff like that. And I just wanted to see what he was going to do. I saw this man, he wasn't all with the eloquent speech and, politically jargon and stuff like that, which helped me understand him better. Yeah, for real, I'm serious. And he was a man that I saw, right now I'm understanding, he's doing what he said. That's valuable amongst people, just to keep your word, you just don't have that because politics are so self-aggrandizing. Everybody's trying to get their own, it's just, a breath of fresh air to see someone say what they're going to do what they say. I don't care if he cusses people out or, bites people's heads off, has funny names for people, that's beside the point. Just that the man is doing what he says kind of won me over. But I got another thing. That's right. I'm serious. There's one more thing that I wanted to touch on, and this is the big thing right here that got me. See, I'm in flooring. I do hardwood floors. And out here in Kego Harbor, there's a pretty big flooring store. All right, Harbor Floors. It was a pretty big flooring store that for a few years I was calling them saying, hey, you need another subcontractor. And they're like, no, we don't need anybody. And I tell you, just like I want to say about eight months ago, almost a year ago, they called me. They're like, hey, we need help. Come on in. So I came on in, talked to the owner, did a job or two for him, and we had a chance to sit down and talk. And he was like, Dion, I had these 3 guys from Guatemala that did all my work. They were with me for 20 years. And he said they got in trouble. They got in trouble and they got sent back. And I was like, man, that was it right there. I saw what President Trump was doing. Because I consider he put money in my pocket. You see what I'm saying? Because I know you're in their position. Amen, that's right. So this is really how I became, a supporter. Because, if you work in the trades or anything like that, you know that, Latinos and Mexicans, they're cheap labor and they'll cut your price down. They'll cut the price down, and the regular Americans, they're not going to work for that low, and so they get the job. Even bigger companies hire them so that they can make more money. Okay, so when I saw that, I understood what he was doing. I was like, this is a smart man, and it's helping me on my level. You see, so that's why I'm here tonight. I didn't ask for anything, don't need anything, but I wanted to come and tell you, this is my story. And how I became a supporter. So everybody enjoy your night. I hope it wasn't too long or too short, but I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Dion, for coming and sharing that story. Thank you. I was handed this basket by the gals in the back. Just as Jan Rechtenwall had told you, we had given the final amount of money I think that needed for the billboard. And these are the kind of things that your donations that you make to Lakes go to. We support conservative candidates. If there's an organization or somebody that's doing something that needs a little bit extra money, it's like we're there for them. Sometimes we give an honorarium to a speaker. So we just appreciate anything that you can donate because it's all 100% put to good use. So thank you in advance for that. Last month, Joellen was here, and she gave a quick encouragement to people to support conservative businesses. You guys remember that, those of you that were here? So she's here again tonight because she wants to give us a little bit of an update on that and tell us what's going on with that little project that she's involved with.
Thank you, Marion. By the way, I loved your intro tonight. It was wonderful. So, before I even get into the Wham radio thing, I just wanted to mention there's a lot of people in this room tonight that think the way we do, good folks, And if they have businesses and we have the opportunity to support them, we should be doing that. And that, of course, includes Dion. Can I get your business card? I might have some floor work. So, how many people in here feel like your conservative voice is getting crushed? Me too. And honestly, as a regular listener of Wham Talk Radio, I feel like it's a golden opportunity there for us to get our voices on air through call-ins. Theron, who runs the station, many of you know him, he allows you to get on air anytime that you call in. And he also advertises and promotes all these kinds of events that we attend all the time and has our candidates on air. I mean, that's worth thousands of dollars in advertising. And I really appreciate that. I also appreciate the conservative national programming he has, like Ryan Kilmeade and Dana Lash and things like that, and then also a lot of locals. Theron's been a man on a mission for a number of years with Wham Radio, and I feel like we haven't necessarily leveraged him as a tremendous resource. And I think at this time we need to use every opportunity we can to get our voice out there. So I'm encouraging everybody to do that. And one of the ways, besides promoting events and doing call-ins, they reach 20,000, nearly 20,000 listeners every day. So the ways that we can support that resource, besides listening, which you can do on your laptop or your cell phone, you can get Simple Radio. By the way, there's directions if you need help loading that onto your phone. Simple Radio or Tuned In Radio, you can put right on your phone if you can't pick up the signal on your AM dial. But you can listen on your laptop as well. And another way we can do that is we can patronize the businesses that are advertising on Wham, and we can refer people to advertise on Wham Radio. So if you know anybody who has a small business that might be interested in advertising, let me know. I'll reach out to them, talk to them, explain how the program works, and help get them some good advertising time. There's paperwork on your tables if you'd like to fill one out and turn it in. If you know of somebody you want to refer, I would love that. But mostly we also need to support the advertisers and let them know that we appreciate what they're doing, because they're putting our voice out there on the air and giving us a great opportunity. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Joanne. And as she said, so now, you know, it's like, I have had Dion, I've known him for 10 years. He's done 3 jobs for me. He does phenomenal. You're an artist, Dion. You really are. It's like when I look at my daughter's floor and what you did, it's fabulous. So anybody interested in any type of wood floor work, you know, please see Dion. Let's support conservative businesses. Shane Trejo is here tonight. Hi, Shane. And he's here to give us an update on Senator Jim Runstead's free speech amendment. So just to give us a few minutes on that, is Shane Trejo.
All right, I'll make this quick. So Jim Runstead has a free speech amendment that he's going to be introducing in the upcoming weeks. He introduced it in previous sessions. What this will do is amend the state constitution so that free speech can be allowed, and so that the legislature can make enactions to protect free speech. Because right now, the way the courts enforce under the Constitution, it pretty much gives the state universities complete independence from the legislature. So they're pretty much above the legislature as the laws are enforced right now. So it's pretty crazy, and you know, you're getting away with all kinds of abuses. They're throwing conservatives off campus. They obviously the Larry Nassar thing was a disgrace, horrible. So they're pretty much operating. They're getting tons of money through student debt. They're doing all this. It's just a big gravy train, and they're indoctrinating kids, and it's a very hostile atmosphere to free speech. So be on the lookout for that. If this passes by the House and the Senate, then it will go to the ballot in next year. So it'll give us something to talk about, give us something that we can bring up this issue of free speech, which is under attack not just at the universities, but on the internet as well, and pretty much every facet of our society, free speech is under attack. And before I close up, I want to also mention something about the auto insurance legislation that was passed and signed into law. Now, there's a dark side to it, of course, but it will likely provide some rate relief, so that is good, but it's going to come at a cost. Here's a big detail of the legislation that was passed and signed into law. Under the old law, you had to buy unlimited PIP insurance. But now you have to buy up into like a $250,000 threshold as the minimum. So that's similar to the way it is in other states. But the problem is if you're on Medicaid already, so if you're already on the dole, you only have to pay up to a $50,000 threshold. So that means it's a $200,000 per car accident subsidy for every car accident that happens to someone who's on the dole. And God knows how many hundreds of thousands, if not over 1 million people are on the dole right now. That's going to be huge, new, bloated Medicaid costs. So how do you think that's going to be paid for? Gas tax. So what I suspect happened is they went behind the scenes with Governor Whitmer. They've already settled on what the next gas tax is going to be. And when they do that gas tax, that money will go toward the bloated Medicaid costs. Remember the last gas tax? That wasn't paid for on the roads. That was paid for Medicaid expansion under Rick Snyder. So they're going to do it all over again, and then 4 years from now, there'll be a new gas tax because the roads will still suck. So expect that to happen. So whatever rate relief you get from the auto insurance bill, you're going to pay for it much more in gas taxes because it's going to explode the Medicaid rolls, and it's another giveaway on behalf of the governor and the Republican leadership. So sorry about that, but the free speech amendment, be on the lookout for that. I'll talk about it. We'll send out action alerts and stuff. So that's the good news, but unfortunately the bad news is the auto insurance reform was no scam. Thank you.